talking about today, man?
Being honest with yourself about owning your own mistakes.
You shouldn't be cussing on the airwaves. Honesty is something that people do not. They don't give that.
Yeah, but the truth is, there comes a point in time when you have to stop pointing the fingers at other people. Stop pointing the finger at stop pointing the finger at God. Stop pointing the finger at the devil. And sometimes just say, "It's on me."
It's on me.
Kind of reminds you of the young man in the prodigal son when he came to himself.
Oh Lord!
And he had to realize this one is it's on me.
Yeah, had to come to himself. Though.
Yeah.
I think that's something many of us have yet to do concerning certain things, especially when we live in a society where we have your truth and my truth, and
that's when truth becomes subjective,
right? Yeah, we got all of these terms and all of these, I would say, conversational tidbits that are used in mental spaces.
Got you.
And we've taken them out of the psychologist or psychiatrist's hand, and we're now utilizing for whatever we want them to be used for. So we justify a lot now.
Absolutely.
I didn't do this. Well, that wasn't my intention, etc., etc. We dodge apology. We dodge responsibility. We dodge accountability.
Yeah.
And so now we're in a world, in a society where there's so many filters that we don't even know the real us.
Wow, that's dangerous.
And there was, and I know your head's been in the book, so you've been missing a few things. But on Netflix, Jamie Foxx, one of my favorite artists, singers, actors, he was in this movie. I believe it was called "Who Cloned Tyrone." I believe
I've heard about that.
Is that what it's called?
I heard about that.
I'm gonna say it right.
I think that is the name of it, though.
And bro, it is deep. They clone Tyrone.
Okay.
I turned it into a question, so I can preach a sermon, right? But they clone Tyrone, and it's interesting some of the things that they're dealing with. But it's even more interesting just the reality that he was cloned and did not even know.
Wow.
It's like how did they do that?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Where one of you die, and then there's another you. Right, waking up in the same bed where you, like, your consciousness has been legitimately put into some, and I think that in so many ways
speaks volumes.
Man,
speaks volumes.
Kind of how our society is, man. We don't even know the real us anymore.
So let me ask a question, because my head has been in the books. So is this like a season series, or is it like a movie?
It's a movie.
Okay,
it's a movie, and it's an interesting movie dealing with some of the things that are going on in the streets, like drugs and things of that nature. But it was interesting just to see how the plot continued to thicken.
Oh, wow.
As the plot continued to thicken, and we begin to learn more about what was happening, it was even a racial conversation piece in there when you really start diving into what was really being talked about. And I know we're not really trying to just leap all into that, because we got conspiracy theorists everywhere, right?
Absolutely.
But just the conversation for him to know that he got shot but wake up,
wow,
and not have any shots on his body,
wow,
to know that he died, but now I'm still alive. Like, what's going on?
Wow.
Right, and go through the motions as if it was deja vu, but in reality, he had been cloned multiple times.
Man.
And so that same conversation, I think, has some parallels with the conversation that we filtered ourselves so much that we don't even know who we are. And unfortunately, that's why many of us can't say, yeah, I did that. Because I got my truth and you got your truth.
Yeah.
Because I have my intentions and you have your emotions.
Wow.
And we're always distinguishing from somebody else and what they feel and what they have going on.
Yeah.
So that we can justify what we did, or at least excuse it for the moment, so that we can render an apology when we desire to. Accountability is something we're running away from.
Wow.
And so it's interesting that that's our topic for the day.
Yeah.
Because if we are going to be made better, if we're going to become better, if those goals that we started out with from December 31st all the way to January the 6th when we quit, if they're really going to come to fruition, we have to be real with ourselves.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's needed and necessary, because the only way you're going to ascend only way you're going to stretch is, I believe, having accountability and being willing to examine yourself. As the Bible talks about, let a man examine his own self.
Absolutely.
And oftentimes we look at other people and we want to blame other people for the reason why we don't have, or for the reason why we haven't advanced, or for the reason why we haven't made certain moves. But at some point, you have to realize it's not them, but maybe it is me.
Maybe it is.
And I think that's a hard conversation to have at times, when you have to look yourself in the mirror and say, yeah, I messed that up. Yeah, I blew that. Yeah, I put my foot in my mouth. Yeah, I cost myself that opportunity. But I think once you have that conversation, it puts you in a position where you can be honest, and so that you can move forward. And truth, if it is legitimate truth, if it is real truth, truth in and of itself has to be objective if it is true. Jesus said, I am the way, the truth, and the life. And so we know there can't be multiple truths, right? You can have multiple facts, but you can't have multiple truths. There's only one truth.
Absolutely.
If it's to be truth in and of itself. And I think one of the dangerous things in society is, as we talked about, everybody has their version of the truth. And so what happens when your version of the truth is contradicted by someone else's version of the truth? Who's telling the truth?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And what was interesting, and I know we're going to pause for the calls and we'll go a little deeper in later in the segment. We did come on late. I do apologize. But what's interesting is,
accountability.
What's interesting is when you made the statement concerning stretch and the sin. When you talk about a sin, we naturally think about airplanes and how they ascend into the air. And the reality that before you ever get on the airplane to ascend, there's a weighing of the baggage. There's a mirror moment that we have to know how many pounds are aboard before we begin to ascend, because that variable has a lot to do with what the airplane does so that it can get into the air.
Absolutely.
When you're stretching anything, you stretch a rubber band. If you look closely, something falls from it. You stretch a piece of bread, you look closely, something falls from it. Whatever it is that you pull apart, there's going to be something falling off, because there has to be an assessment of what's on me. Because when I begin to stretch and when I begin to ascend, everything that's on me can't go with me. But some things have to stick on me. It's the interesting reality when we even talk about Acts and look at Paul and how he was at that island of Patmos, I believe, and he was dealing with the reality that there was a fire burning while the rain was coming down. And he said, hey, Doc, I'm not just going to be a part of the fire. I want to add something to the fire. You know, children of God, you got to add something to the fire. Okay. He went to get some sticks to throw into the fire. And while he was going to be a blessing to the fire and add some more heat to the fire, a snake came out and bit him. Now, the people pulled out their phones, Facebook Live, trying to watch him die, right? But the reality was he was able to just shake it off. What I've always loved about that text, and just the ability to do as we were told with Sister Mother Shirley Caesar, shake, shake, shake. That's Albertina, ain't it?
No, that's Dorothy.
That's Dorothy. That's Dorothy. You better help me. She been tuned in and got all of us. Mother Norwood says, shake, 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 shake the devil off. But when you shake, the good stays on, but the bad comes off, right? God intends for us to be able to realize before we ascend and before we're stretched and before we walk into great doors, to get off of us what does not need to be on us. Because it's dangerous if you take everything that's on you to the next level.
Wow.
And so we'll get deeper.
Yeah, that's gonna be good. That's gonna be good. Well, we got to get this commercial break in, and before we do that, though, I do want to shout out our sponsors.
Shout out.
I want to shout out the Loving Teddy Bear Foundation. The Loving Teddy Bear Foundation.
Hug yourself. Love yourself. Hug yourself. Show me what you're working with.
Founded by our big sis Tara and Mama Sonia Mills McCall, the focus of the Loving Teddy Bear Foundation is mental health awareness with a concentration on suicide prevention. This foundation is a tribute to the life and memory of Brother Colin Connor. To learn more about his story and the Loving Teddy Bear Foundation, head over to lovingteddybear.com. Yeah, head over to lovingteddybear.com. Or if you'd like to make a donation to this awesome and amazing foundation, you may do so via their website or on Cash App. Their cash tag is $Loving TB Foundation. That's $Loving TB Foundation. Once again, major shouts out to the Loving Teddy Bear Foundation. Listen, everyone, keep hanging with yours truly, the Crown Prince, Pastor Trey.
And Pastor Lee Bizzle.
We have more of Straight Church.
No chaser. Woo! Family, how y'all doing? It's a pleasure. Can y'all hear us real well? I hope y'all can hear us real well. I'm trying to look at the stuff. Good afternoon to you, Sister Frankie Smith. Carol Lewis Sellers, good afternoon. It ain't my fault.
Hey, this is Dr. Joe Pace, and I encourage you.
Elizabeth Williams, Sister Elizabeth Williams, good afternoon to you. So good afternoon, Pastor Trey.
What up?
You don't be paying attention.
I'll be trying to focus on that board, man.
Bless you, Sister Adrienne Young. How you doing all the way from Georgia? Good evening, Sister Mariah Lawson. Good evening to you. She said, hey, Pastor Stewart.
What up, what up, what up?
Sister Harley, bless you. Sister Captain Singh, how you doing? I hope y'all are doing well. This is a beautiful Friday. I hope that you're enjoying it thus far. I believe God has great things in store for you. But I'm even more excited. You know, this conversation has the ability to yield even greater conversation into our ability to realize what's going on with us so that we can put ourselves in a space to be able to fix what seems to be wrong with us. And so I'm excited about it. I'm excited about it. So, Doc, you what is school doing for you now, man? You had a project, I know, Friday that had you down.
Yeah.
What all did you have to do?
Had an argument for the Christian worldview against the Islamic worldview.
Concerning Jesus Christ.
Yeah, concerning his deity, and just pretty much just going over the differences between what we believe versus what they believe and arguing for the deity of Christ.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, they believe Jesus to be an amazing prophet who performed miracles, but yet they deny his deity.
Right.
So pretty much just looking at scriptures and even the Quran to show and to demonstrate that if you're going to believe that he is a prophet and the Quran commands you to obey the words of the prophets, if Jesus claimed himself to be God,
right,
in the Gospels, right, and you are commanded to obey all prophets, then you have to obey the fact that he is who he said that he is.
Absolutely.
So our argument just kind of rested in that fact, mirrored some other things, but we pretty much hung our hat there on this deity. So it was a good argument. I believe I argued well. I scored pretty high, so
so I did.
So prayerfully, I argued well.
So I did. No, I love it. I think that's one of the things that many of us don't understand is the real technical truths.
Yeah, man.
Concerning the differences of our religions.
Yeah.
And I think we struggle with being, and we've been saying this for a long time. Bishop Prophet Todd Hall said it a few nights ago as well.
Okay.
That the leaders and the preachers who are to take this next generation to where God wants them to be have to be apologists.
Ooh.
And so many of us don't know how to defend
gotta be defended.
what we believe because we unfortunately don't know what we believe.
Right.
And so for somebody watching us, when you talk about the deity of Christ, what does that mean?
Just talking about his divine nature, the fact that he is God. He's not just a man. He is a man, but he's also God. 100% God, 100% man. And so Muslims, our beloved brothers on the other side, they accept his manhood but deny his deity, deny the fact that he's God. And to be a Christian, you have to accept the fact that he's both God and man. Can't deny it. And he was not a created being as some other people may suggest. When you look at other religious groups, Jesus was not created. He pre-existed. He always existed. The Bible says in John chapter 1 verse 1, in the beginning was the Word. The Word was with God, and the Word was God. You skip down to verse 14. The Bible says that, and the Word became flesh. So we know God in the flesh is who? Jesus Christ. And there's a whole lot, but that's it.
I think this is, it's necessary for our people to understand these truths, that while we have similarities, we have major differences. And what's happening now more than ever is something that's scary to me. I've told people for a very long time, our denominational lines do need to blur. That our denominational lines do need to get to a place where we understand that the main focal point of the Christian is that Jesus is who Jesus is.
Exactly.
We shouldn't be arguing over baptism. We should not be arguing over how we handle or what emphasis
and that
we
is
put on
so
service.
Divisive, though.
It is.
Baptism is so divisive.
And we got to stop that.
Whether you do Trinitarian, whether you do in Jesus' name, it is so divisive.
We have to stop that, right? Because Scripture was not written for us to argue.
Wow.
It wasn't written. That wasn't its intent.
Right.
It wasn't written for us to be divisive and be, so problematic and arrogant and ignorant and all of that together, so that we can fight each other. When there's a greater war going on right now, there's people who feel that the religious, quote unquote, so to speak, who we believe in, those lines should be blurred. There's many people
that's pluralism.
Who are, they're adding the Quran and the nature of the Muslim conversation to the life of the Christian. And these cannot be.
They cannot mix.
Oil and water don't mix.
That can't mix. That can't mix.
Even if it looked like it mixed.
Can't mix.
Just let it sit there for a while and watch it separate again.
It can't mix.
And I think that's the danger as we look at this generation. Is that because they don't know for sure, they're moved. Shifted. By every wind of not doctrine but mean.
That's true. That's true.
of not true. Preacher but Facebook posts. That's where we are right now. Where Facebook is growing to Christians and not those who have been sent to preach and teach and care for the flocks. And some of that's on us. But I do think it's imperative. That's a good assignment. That's a fun assignment.
It is.
My problem would have been I don't want to write it. Let me speak.
You're right.
I argue.
But you have to write it, then you got to argue it.
Yeah, let's have that. Put me on the debate team. I can argue that all day.
You got to write it first, then you got to argue it.
Yeah. Mixing will cause more confusion. We are fighting so hard to make sure the younger generation know the truth. Absolutely. We can't mix our faiths.
That's why Sunday school is important. Vacation Bible school is important. When you talk about our youth, it's in
Bible study is important.
Bible study,
bro. I tell people all the time, I am churchy. I'm a church baby. I love the preaching moment. And I do my best. We have to nowadays do our best to give more information with some inspiration and some celebration for the generations that we, are assigned to. But Bible study is information. VBS, information. You can ask questions then. Sunday school, information. You can ask questions then. All of these other opportunities are moments for you to ask questions, moments for you to get straight scripture information, and you don't have to worry about the time limits that we have. Then you think about it, we can have an hour for Bible study, nobody cares
at all.
But if you preach for an hour on Sunday, everybody's in their feelings.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
Sunday school can go for a whole hour. You mean to tell me you don't mind deacon or sister such and such up there teaching for that long? But if the preacher goes there, it's a problem, right?
Yep.
So we already are confined to a small amount of time during the worship experience, which is interesting and scary at the same time.
It can be.
Because sometimes it seems as though we're putting more value on worship than we are the word. And whenever you value worship over the word, it can be a scary thing.
Yeah.
Because we're in a society now where people are beginning to worship. Like they worship being in a certain atmosphere.
It's becoming a religion in and of itself.
Yeah,
man.
Doc. And they don't understand that worship in and of itself is not enough. You need that word. Yeah.
And a lot of songs today, though, they lack a real theological substance.
Absolutely.
Like it's not grounded in word.
Doc, one of the greatest musicians, the psalmist by the name of David, still came back and said, "Thy word have I hid in my heart, that I might not sin against."
That's why he hid it in his heart.
Because let's look at the reality. That music and the music ministry was always a place where the enemy wanted to carry on and act up.
Yeah.
We have to understand that we've got to keep the word high on the totem pole of our Christian life.
Absolutely.
Good evening to you, Miss Dot. Since people need to understand that church is not for entertainment. Absolutely. 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 I think I do want to add this though. I think unfortunately one of the lures that you have to use and we had to use during COVID and post-COVID is making sure that we have a sound production. That does not make it entertainment.
Right.
And so I want to delineate from that, or at least, make it make sense. When I say sound production, I'm talking
you gotta have
the
excellence.
visual matters.
You gotta have excellence in your presentation.
Absolutely.
Lighting.
And the audio, it matters. And for some people, they say, "Oh, this is too much. This is a film." Well, hold on. If it doesn't look good to this generation, they're not going to tune in. If it don't sound good, they're not going to tune in. So it's not that ain't for the sake. And I just want to make this make sense for some people. That's not for the sake of entertainment. But if people are entertaining in the pulpit, they're dead wrong. If you're going so far that it's beyond an attempt to relate to them with the text, you've been gone too far. And I've been saying that for a while. I'm big on that.
So it's just certain stuff you're not doing.
Certain stuff not gonna happen. Yeah, it just ain't gonna happen. And I'm very serious about that.
You gotta be though. You gotta be.
I can't. It's certain stuff we won't let go.
Because right now it's a lot of foolishness going on though.
It's unfortunate, but to play, and I hate to say this, we need to find another word. The devil's advocate.
Being an apologist.
To defend them.
Yeah.
Preachers are having to do so much now that was not required by our predecessors.
But at some point, you got to maintain a standard.
The unfortunate truth is most have not learned the standard.
And that's the problem.
And the issue is this too. It is sometimes harder to learn a standard when where you are is a place that you've never been before, and a place others haven't been, because that pandemic was brand new to everybody. And so unfortunately, because they had no personal conviction concerning the standard, so to speak, they just did whatever they could, hoping that it would get what they wanted. But we definitely, man, it's time to reel this stuff back in.
Yeah, but there's no substance in that, though.
Let's be honest. The world seems to value surface over substance. And so when we're looking for personal validation, we can begin to become surface.
Yeah, but see, that means your aim is off.
In most cases, it is.
That means your aim is off.
Let's be honest.
That's what I would
I heard
say.
somebody say just a few days ago The real problem is a lot of folks just learned how to preach. And they weren't called in the first place. That's a whole other conversation.
If you grow up in church, you can learn it. You can learn the art of
Yeah.
it. Because there is an art to preaching.
Hey, Jamise, how you doing? Happy Friday to you.
Montgomery's Inspiration Station, Praise 96.5 FM, WMGY. We're back with more Straight Church.
No chaser.
That was kind of weak, man.
Yeah, I'm tired this time.
That was kind of weak. You're hanging with yours truly, Pastor Trey.
And Pastor Lee Bizzle.
And it's another day's journey, and we're glad about it.
You churchy today, dog. You churchy today.
So, man, you hear about Carly being arrested.
I saw a mugshot.
And then being out on bond.
Well,
There's people going in about it, man. Upset about it.
yeah. You know.
We'll move right on along.
Yeah, I don't have anything for it.
So look, y'all wrapped up VBS. What is it? Last week? How was it? How was VBS?
VBS was amazing, man. More people than I ever thought would participate in VBS.
That's dope.
Definitely
That's dope.
knowing that the city of Montgomery has had its fair share of VBSs across the board amongst churches. So, but it was a blessing to see people want to come out and bring their children.
Yeah.
And shouts out to our Christian education department because I did nothing. I'm grateful for them and their efforts.
It's the joy in your eyes when you said
absolutely.
you said that.
No, it was so dope, bro. We had a debriefing session last night and just had the opportunity to pour on those teachers.
That's good.
Because one of the greatest things to figure out in your church is who is capable and who is going to be passionate about teaching God's word. So we got to identify some people.
That's good.
Which is a blessing.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. Man, so it's on me.
It's on me.
So what situation have you had that you had to come to the realization this was my fault? And after coming to that realization, what did you do to correct the wrong?
Well, so I'm gonna be totally honest. I think when you look in the mirror, oftentimes you have to, before being honest, verbally, you have to be honest internally. And so when I realized that I made a mistake, or for the sake of like the prodigal son, made a misstep, I think it puts me back in the space of understanding how inconsiderate I might have been in that moment. And I'm the type of person, man, that I sometimes will beat myself up when I make mistakes because I'm a perfectionist.
Gotcha.
So by nature, it's like, Lee, you went through this, you thought about that. Why didn't you think about that? And, I always run through things in my mind multiple times because I don't desire to have it trickle down and affect other people.
Okay.
So it's one of those humbling things, and then I'm searching for the lesson in it, even before I verbally own up to it.
Got you.
But I'm definitely going to pray because I got to get it off of me. It can be a burden. It's a weight.
It is.
When you feel like you blew it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm the type of person that, every move, every decision is so major to me because I'm a perfectionist that it's like, man, you had one job. Like, bro, you had one job. How did you blow that? So it can be kind of heavy.
Yeah.
But I think ultimately all of us have to sit on the couch sometimes and realize that we have to recognize some things about us
Yeah.
that need to be changed. That's one of the scariest things for me, is being around people who can't recognize that what they're doing or what they're seeing or what they're saying, it ain't proper, it ain't right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We live in a society now, man, where people just feel like, hey, I am who I am, and this
Yeah.
is what I am, and this is what it's gonna be. It's like, oh, so you're settled. You know, like you're never gonna evolve and become better. Like that's just what you want to do. Okay. I can't be around you. Can't be around you.
Yeah.
Because we're ever
Yeah.
evolving. So for me, I gotta learn the lesson so I can grow.
Mm-hmm.
And then I own up to it, you know, internally and then externally.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's good.
But it's, I mean, you know, it's one of those things. I think all of us make mistakes. You follow the Romans road, you get to all have sinned and fallen short of the glory of God.
Mm-hmm.
And you realize that none of us are above mistakes. None of us are so great that we won't make them. So one of the things I would tell people is definitely give yourself grace.
Mm-hmm.
But always realize that that grace gives you the space to evolve and become better.
Wow.
Yeah.
It should though.
Absolutely.
Because some people try to manipulate grace though.
Well, you know, it's a whole nother conversation.
We don't have to go down that road, but I'm just saying. I just want to put out that some people,
absolutely,
they try to take advantage of grace.
Absolutely.
And you shouldn't do that.
Well, and you know, I just want people to start asking the question, what do I learn from my mistake?
Yeah. So then losses become lessons.
Yeah, because some of us keep repeating the same grade. If you don't learn, and it's that same mentality as the student who's going back to school. Shout out to the kids as they get ready to get back into school. The
August
teachers start
10th.
Monday.
For the teacher.
Yeah, the teachers start
Students
Monday.
go back with the 10th. I think August 10th.
Yeah, something like
Somebody
that.
told me August 10th.
In the middle of the week on a Thursday, from what I know. But
very interesting.
Yes, it kind of threw me out with it. Like Thursday, I was like, well,
Percy Julian.
That's a short
starts
week.
this year.
That's a short week. So
Jag starts this year, from what I hear.
Yeah, you done. So we think.
The rest of my moment. All right, go ahead.
I forgot what I was saying.
Go ahead.
I forgot what I was saying. But for real, I think it's the reality that if you know, some kids, this is where I was going. Some kids, even in my classroom, have this ability that when you give them a test, they'll give up while taking the test. They'll turn it in with empty answers. They don't even try because they feel like they already have failed. And when you go to give grace and go over the test for them to potentially make up some answers, they might have an attitude because they didn't get it right the first time, which will always result in them coming back and having to go to the same lesson and having to go through the same test in the same grade just for them to learn the lesson. So I think that's one of the things we have to learn in life is to always ask, what do I learn from this?
Yeah.
And apply what you learn.
Yeah. And
see that God will allow you the space, the opportunity, the time to get to the next grade level.
That's good. That's good.
How do you deal with it?
For me, it's coming to the realization that I messed up. And I think once I come to that realization, for me, it's about what can I do to either fix it, what can I do to make it better, what can I do to improve it. And so I think for me, that self-evaluation is very important because I take very seriously the self-examination. So just going through and rehearsing in my mind, where did I go wrong in this process? How did I miss this? You know what I'm saying? And I think for me, because I wear multiple hats, I have to find quiet time to reflect. And now I don't tend to beat myself up, but I do interrogate myself as to where did we go wrong? You know what I'm saying? And depending on what the situation is or the circumstance, I'll ask other people who may have had a different vantage point just to hear what they said. And so criticism doesn't become destructive, but it becomes beneficial, right? It begins to help build, because sometimes people who have a different vantage point can see what you missed.
Absolutely.
And so it's important when you have people whose voice you can trust, and where there's reciprocity. So if if it's them, they're coming to you to ask you, hey, what did you see? How did I miss this? How did this happen? What did you see?
Right.
And so I think it's important. So for me, that self-reflection and self-examination is vitally important, because as much as we strive to do the right thing and as much as we strive to get it right, mistakes and missteps and mishaps, they just happen.
Yeah. And you are not what you did.
Yeah, we're definitely not mistakes. Now, we've made our fair share of mistakes,
Absolutely.
but we are definitely not a mistake. And so then through prayer and the desire to improve, I'm able to correct and or fix, even if that is offering an apology, right?
Yeah.
Because sometimes we can be right in what we say, but wrong in how we say it.
Yeah.
And so you don't really understand how you can damage a person when you're in the heat of the moment and you allow your emotions cause you to exert certain energies that don't need to be exerted, because people can pick up on your vibe.
But you know, the strongest or the hugest enemy.
Is huge is the word?
Yeah, I just made it up. Hugest enemy is, to honesty is pride. And I think that's the big problem with most of us. Like, we have so much pride, bro.
Yeah.
Because we legitimately always feel as though us making or giving an apology makes us less than.
Yeah. Some people think it makes us weak.
Yeah. It's interesting how many family issues we wouldn't have if people apologized.
Wow, that's true.
It's interesting how many how many financial mistakes wouldn't happen if we called them and apologize and we can't make a payment.
Yeah.
Right? Like that apology goes to so many different facets of our being and our livelihood. And many of us stray away from it because we don't want to look less than. We don't want to look smaller.
Yep.
We don't want to look like we're begging for someone's forgiveness. But I heard you say it this morning. That's for you, not for them.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. It's the reality that it gives you the opportunity to have that void filled where that mistake might have left a hole.
Absolutely. Healing is in forgiveness, though. That's the only way that you can really be healed, is through forgiving. And I think a lot of times we fall short of that healing process because we don't go through the actions of forgiving.
Yeah.
And it's necessary. Even if you, and I heard one pastor say, sometimes when it comes to forgiving and forgiveness, you have to rent trust. And renting trust is going to therapy. And I know that's kind of a hot topic. It's kind of a buzzword, but let's be honest, therapy is needed for some people. Like, some people need therapy. They need
a lot of people.
Yeah. They need somebody they can talk to, and somebody who's going to give them feedback objectively. And I do believe that God has some anointed therapists.
Absolutely.
Like, I believe that God can use therapists just like he used doctors. You know what I'm saying? Like, God can use therapists. And it's important that we understand, man, that just having somebody to talk to, just having somebody that you can take that weight off of, and then they know how to properly handle that weight, is a benefit. And we've seen an uptick with pastors having therapists.
Absolutely. My pastor has a therapist.
Wow.
Encouraged me to have one.
Wow.
Because there's so many things that you can't talk to people in your proximity about, that you still have to offload things to someone in some space about.
Yeah.
And it's a healthy thing for those who are often mentally exhausted.
Yeah.
Which is the preacher of today, for certain. The leader of Boston. I mean, let's be honest, man. Let's really be honest. I thank God for our predecessors and all who paved the way and showed us who we stand upon, but they don't have to do all that we have to do now.
Yeah.
We're in I ain't going to church era.
Yeah. This technological age is something.
This post-church era is a monster, and I'd even dare to say we're in the church attitude behavior.
When you like WWE,
EWO, dog. Like, it's a new world order over here, that people are finding so many ways to justify how they're growing outside of the body.
And then when you add this added element of pluralism, where we
Uh-huh.
talked about earlier, where so many different religious views
Mhm.
are trying to be meshed together. Not only does a pastor have to be a preacher, but as you said that Dr. Todd Hall mentioned,
Mhm.
and as we talked about in school, you have to literally become an apologist. Like you
Mhm.
have to become a defender of the faith,
You got to be able
not to attack people, but to correct wrong beliefs.
Yeah, defense is there for when there's offense.
Yeah, you got to correct it. You got to correct it.
Yeah, but you got to know. And so I love how you said it, the therapist offloading, which also necessitates the reality or the moment of recognizing that you even have a weight on you.
Yeah,
You got to recognize that way
yeah,
before you can ever offload that way.
that's true.
And when you're offloading, you have to be honest about what you're offloading,
Yep.
how you really feel in that particular moment. If there is any serum, right, for what you're dealing with,
Yeah.
then it can be given. That's the same thing with church. I'm not going to lie to you. You know, heard the preacher say in every sermon there's a serum.
Mm.
And if that be the case, the people should pregame come to church already full concerning worship,
Mm-hmm.
which opens them up to be vulnerable for new seeds and for serum
Yeah.
to get into their body. And if you're honest about it, the Holy Spirit will honestly give us what you need so that you can get your fix.
Wow.
You still got to see a therapist, many of us, but some of us could get what we need while we're in the pew
Absolutely.
if we're only open and honest about what we need.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's, like I said, that pride, man. It keeps us from being honest about what's going on.
Yeah.
We're not honest about these things. I mean, I've even seen parents where struggling with their children and they're not honest about what their children are going through, and then
Wow.
they wait too late, and then things get worse.
Yeah.
And they're so far you can't even grab it back yourself.
Pride leads to destruction
Nah,
every time.
pride is. I preach and say pride is the devil. Kendrick Cole. Yeah. He said it left so many RIP. Pride is the devil, and that's
Wow.
is real.
Wow.
And yes, it is a stigma. I see you, Jamise. It is a stigma in our culture and community and creed of people. But I think we're kind of coming against that stigma now.
Mm-hmm.
We're kind of open to it now. The only problem is, and this is what I will say, and I'll say it in the most direct way possible, is that now, you know, there's a whole bunch of folk on their insurance and stuff of that nature because they don't desire to pay for it.
Mm-hmm.
Because the cost of everything keep going up. And then let's be honest, some of the ones who really need it can't find someone they can trust to give it to them.
Yep. Yep.
Without further conversing about what they just told them. And I'm not saying that to say that they all can't be trusted. I'm not saying that any of them can't be trusted, but I'm just telling you that a lot of people that really need a therapist are still frightened at the thought of, hey, they cousin a therapist, they friend a therapist, somebody across the street is a therapist, but they know me. I can't talk about this.
Yep.
I can't do this and I can't do that.
Yep.
And so that is a thing as well. And I just believe, hope, and pray that even when we're looking for a therapist, we're praying and seeking God for Him to send someone who's open to giving us the serum. Come on in, Judge.
Absolutely.
Who's open to giving us the serum
My man.
that we need for our, whatever we've been contaminated with.
Absolutely.
And so today is a good day, y'all. We just want to tell you it's not just a fantabulous Friday, as I continue to make up words. But we have a great guest that's going to be with us today. I think we closing. We going somewhere.
Yeah, we got a legal ID. Got a song we got to play, and then we'll be back.
All right, so y'all vibe to the music. We'll be back in a second.
Keep it locked.
Doc,
how you doing? Thanks
what
for
is it,
having
man?
me.
Good
Thanks
to
for
see
having
you.
me.
Good to see you.
Good to see you, man. How you been doing?
Holding it in the road.
Oh yeah, you're the newest married man in the room.
Been taking your advice, by the way. Been taking your advice. Been working for me real good.
Oh yeah.
Now, Judge, what does JC stand for?
It's just initials. It doesn't stand for anything.
For real? Oh Lord, I thought we was gonna get some juicy.
Oh
in
no,
here today.
I named that my grandfather. So
Oh.
yes, JC. So
Oh wow.
that's why we had my son. We just gave him a name. That's why he's James Christopher. Yeah. But it still has a JC initial.
I love it. I love it.
So now some people will think that that's what JC stands for. So they go ahead and, send something up to the parents of, so they said James, Christopher, and Portia Love.
They giving you his name, man.
Yeah. It be like that.
All right, if y'all asking for his money. I said, I'll bless
So how's
you.
your day going, Judge?
Man, this has been a busy day. We had the commitment hearings, and then we had another hearing in the state case about trying to, some siblings were fighting over who was going to be.
Now you are on Facebook. I'll tell you that too.
All right. Who was going to be an administrator of the state. Then we went, I had to call in to Penny the Family Show to talk about our event on Sunday.
Okay.
Our book bag giveaway. Marry 6 couples.
Wow.
And then run out, sign some stuff for some other checks and stuff for Sunday, and then run out here to y'all.
You're signing checks?
Well, yes.
You
didn't
put my
come
name.
empty-handed.
You could put my name on one of them.
Don't come in here empty-handed.
But I'm glad to be on the show.
I mean, we're grateful to have you.
Absolutely.
Extremely grateful. You get your event worked out this morning?
Oh yeah, we got everything worked out. So, the real thing is we got a bunch of the queen from Miss ASU in court, and the ASU SGA came through to help us pack book bags for
ASU.
Sunday. So we got 1,000 book bags we're giving out.
Are you trying to shout them out or something? Is that what you're trying to do?
I can ASU.
Oh, don't do that. There's a bulldog in here.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
I can't wait to wear my A&M apparel to the ASU game. I don't care nothing about it.
I think some people still have not forgiven you
I ain't worried.
for your trespasses last football season.
We got season tickets again too.
How's the team looking this year?
Who ASU?
No, A&M.
Oh, I'm about to say like they about to get whooped.
Don't.
Now I heard A&M is looking real good. I hope they do well though. I think the SWAC's gonna be exciting this year. And that's not just because Deion's no longer here, but just that excitement because they got something to prove.
Mm-hmm.
They got something to prove, so I think it's gonna be dope.
Where did y'all's all-world quarterback go?
I don't know. I didn't even keep up with that. Glass, I believe.
Yeah, Quan Glass. Yeah.
I'm gonna have to look into that. Now, y'all look Facebook. Y'all see them before they hear from them online, on the radio, on the air. But this is Judge JC Love.
The one and only.
Hey! Y'all in here shouting out ASU. Calm down.
Don't do them like that.
Big Bama State. What's big about
Hey,
Bama State?
but Alabama
Don't do that.
STATEU
All right.
University.
I can mute you on here.
No matter, because I can mute you on here.
So we got the Honorable Judge JC Love,
ASU.
one of the greatest men in the city of Montgomery. And we're so grateful for his presence and his work.
Well, you're too kind.
Bless you, man. He is a monster. And he definitely has a heart for the city because all you need is love.
Well, thank you.
So any questions, any of that conversation you might even have for Judge Love, you can post it in the chat.
Now was a good time.
If you don't want to post it in the chat, you just want us to hear your voice. I hope you are ready to dial in. It's 334-398-8791. I'll put the ticker up. 334-398-8791. We got a few things we want to talk about. And then we definitely want to answer some of your questions. Now, don't come in here, ask no question like, well, why my baby cousin? We ain't dealing with none of that, all right? This is straight church, no chaser, but we're gonna be straight church while he in here. You still doing this stuff?
Don't be a hater.
Who about to get put out?
Don't be a hater.
Because I can block them from everything.
You better not do it. You better not do it. So, Judge, what you graduated from JD?
Yeah, JD in 97.
How do you feel about it being changed to JAG?
It's different. I just married a couple from Lanier earlier. Said, yeah, so the only people who are going to have their son in high school will be the people at Carver.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to close Lanier. And Lee's becoming Percy
Julian.
We're becoming JAG. So, and they're not even certain they're going to keep the same colors.
What?
Wow. And so I spoke with the seniors there. I was like, yeah, y'all going to be the last class of Jeff Davis. You know,
Wow.
So the end of an era. But as all things come to a close, something better comes in its place.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's a good way to look at
In
it.
about 5-10 years, I went to Jeff. Where was that?
Right. That's what I don't want to do. I'm too young.
That used to be.
So are they changing the mascot at JD?
Oh yeah.
You already know.
I think they were trying to do the the Jaguar, but then there was some confusion and some issues.
Oh, man.
Regarding that.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's the logo's gonna be done, but not gonna be the Volunteers. It's a wholesale reboot and rebrand.
Wow.
I think they should allow us to purchase some old paraphernalia first.
Oh, I agree.
Yeah,
Before they completely do away with
Yeah,
it. That makes
that'd be
sense.
dope,
Yeah.
man.
That makes sense.
You know, I
That
want
makes
some
sense.
Lehigh stuff. You know what I mean? I can't tell people I bought the school anymore and change it to my name. You know? They done legit just changed everything.
Somebody done snatched it.
So y'all are completely leaving the building. They building a whole new
Yeah, that too, right?
school, and
Somebody
y'all
give
have
me.
your own football field out there. So yeah.
Wow.
It's gonna be dope.
So
I'm
when does
sure.
that take effect? Do
I
you
think
know?
they're gonna start building it next year or so.
Next year. Okay.
And so probably the next 2 or 3 years. And I guess the plan is for all of the high schools to have a stadium. At their.
So were they to host games?
Yes. The
Wow.
Leaf Captain Bowl alone.
That's so. What they gonna do with Crandon Bowl then?
I guess use it for the major games, the bowls and things like that,
Wow.
which would be a major source of loss of revenue for not having the high school game.
Yeah.
Wow.
So they're gonna have all
Man,
the high
that's
schools
very
to be able to
interesting.
host their own game.
Oh, they're not gonna be as big as Crandon Bowl though.
I don't know. I grew up when I was in high school. You'd have 25,000 folks up there for a Lee and JD game or for a Carver Lanier.
Yeah.
I'm in the West Side Classic.
Yeah.
It used to be blow.
It'd be good folks out there.
Dang.
That old school parking lot was a beast anyway. That thing wrapped all the way around that joke. So we gonna mess around and
JD
have.
and Lanier. I
We
remember
gonna have
them
some
games.
small little football field.
Oh yeah, probably like you'll see over in Atlanta, the one-sided stadiums over there.
Oh man, that ain't no fun.
Yeah, the bands have got to stand on the grass. No room to stand. Bowls, baby, class of 03.
Balls.
Jamise?
Balls.
No, Bowls.
Balls. Put some respect on
Uh-uh.
it. Balls.
No,
Balls.
Bowls.
Balls. That what
I ain't gonna
happened.
tell you what else I call JD.
Don't do that. Don't even go there.
Oh, who lives in a pineapple under the sea? SpongeBob SquarePants.
Don't even do that.
Man, so
Don't even do that.
we how many vacations you been on this summer?
What did I do? We took a couple of days back in June.
Mhm.
Went to a graduation to New York, and then took the week of going to the 4th of
Hey,
July.
this is
taking
what
kids
Marcus
down to the
Campbell.
beach.
And I
So
encourage
a
everyone.
lot of
else to
times,
listen to Straight
feeling we were
Church
gonna be
Ministries.
busy for in the year, so we got that in. But
Gotcha.
sometimes, it hadn't been, a day or two here and there. That's
Hard. Huh?
Oh, yeah, it is.
You get a vacation in yet, Trey?
A mini vacation.
How many days?
But actually, me and my wife, we're going to take a week in August, right after the anniversary. We getting up out of
When
here.
is the anniversary?
Third Sunday.
Oh my God.
I celebrate 10 years in ministry. Yeah, because you're the second Sunday.
Yeah.
So the third Sunday is significant because I preached my initial sermon on the third Sunday in
So
August.
that's 20,
August
the
18th.
20th?
Yeah, the 20th.
Yeah.
20th.
So, 10 years in preaching,
Yep. Second year as the
2
pastor.
years pastor.
Yeah, man.
Well,
How's that transition been? A lot of folks have been used to your dad for so long,
Yeah.
so it's always.
No, it's been good, but it's been a very valuable learning experience. And I've developed a greater appreciation for my dad because of it's one thing to see him do it,
Yeah.
and then all the decisions have to rest with him.
Uh-huh.
But now it's a whole nother thing. Now I'm sitting in the chair.
it's on me.
Yeah, it's on me. Now it's on me. And
do you see in some ways that you have some of the deacons that trying to challenge you when they wouldn't do your part? Like,
Nah.
he would have pulled that, but like,
Yeah, nah.
Because he got
Nah.
anything he can get over.
I do think that because I do think that my dad being there first made my journey a lot easier. So what I've been dealing with is I remember you when you was a
Oh, yeah.
child.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I've been dealing with that.
Oh yeah.
But I think people have a greater level of respect for me because they've seen me put in the work. So I don't really have to earn a lot.
I see.
You see what I'm saying? Because they've seen me put in the work. So I've served, in any other than a musician, well, I played the drums for a little bit, but
You play drums?
just a little bit, just
No.
a rehearsal or two.
Uh-huh.
God, I ain't know that.
So
Like
pretty
you
much
function
any
with- you function with- okay.
any facet of ministry, just about I've served in, and so when I talk about serving in certain things, you know, they've seen me put in the work, so I've earned my stripes that way, so to speak.
Okay.
So, but yeah, it's been a joy, man. It's been a joy. It's been a joy. And then my dad is still there, still around, so I'm able to lean on his counsel, and because he's my biological father, and then my father in ministry, it helps because I'm able to just pull his brain and just pick his brain at any given moment about anything. So he's helped me to navigate some pitfalls I know I would have fell face first in. So, so he's been a tremendous help
Might
to
even
me.
dove in.
I know, right? So he's helped me, you know, pick my battles so I can win the war.
Yeah, because y'all in this new wave of ministry here.
Yeah.
Absolutely, you all
Yeah.
picking up the mantle and, you know, being out there. And if y'all look back now, it's like, wish I had known this going into it, or you know,
Wow.
navigated this differently. It's,
Your wife said you kind of sing too. Now.
Just a little bit. I do a little singing now. Do a little singing. Lee won't. He promised me he was gonna
Don't
do
lie,
something.
don't lie,
do
don't
some
lie.
lessons.
Don't lie.
I'm not lying.
Oh,
He
I
said
was
my
gonna do
lessons ain't
some
started
lessons.
yet.
I was gonna do some lessons.
Yeah, that's what he said.
Okay.
Said you're
Yeah,
gonna do some
we're gonna make
lessons.
that. We're gonna make that.
Bet.
happen.
he was singing last week over at the senior prom.
Yeah, yeah,
I know, little David Ruffin.
yeah. Well, no little.
Little David Ruffin.
I am David.
I'm funny to go to say, no one came to see you, Otis.
I know you wouldn't do it.
I started to, but like I told them, if I put it in my head, it's gonna come out like it did at my probate, and that ain't gonna be good. That ain't gonna be good.
You're gonna be trending.
Nah.
What's gonna be trending?
What you said? No. Flashback all out of whack, right? No, but we had fun though. We were just talking about how the demands of a pastor in the 21st century are totally different than the pastors of old, and all that we have to do, and even I don't want to say the neediness of the congregation, but I will say with all this mental health going on, you know, the sensitivity of the congregation
And the hunger for more.
yeah, and it can be a crazy pool, but it's definitely a challenge to stay balanced nowadays, more than ever, especially coming out of COVID.
Oh yeah, that kind of shook everything. Everything's a new paradigm.
Yeah, they kind of mess with it.
everything.
Man. We can't get you can't get out of nothing now.
Oh no.
There's FaceTime and Zoom.
Oh yeah.
No excuses. No excuses.
Oh, you busy? Do you have your phone?
Well, I'll be out of town. Good. Let's do the Zoom. Let's do the Zoom.
Hello, hey pastor.
Oh, we got a family reunion. Oh, but that's okay.
Yeah, but it's a blessing though. It's a blessing that they trust you enough to follow your leadership.
But do they trust you enough to have the flexibility, you know, because you start seeing a lot of your, people, I guess, around y'all's age and younger than me, and even some people my age, are starting to leave the traditional Black church and venture over to,
That's a good conversation.
Highlands and things like that, and they say they want a different experience, but your congregation like, I want this.
Yeah, that's
real good.
that'll take a long time.
real good. We need to talk about that. Montgomery's Inspiration Station, Praise 96.5 FM, WMGY.
Uh-huh.
We're back like we never left.
Yeah.
You locked in with yours truly, the Crown Prince, Pastor Trey.
And Pastor Lee B.
This is Straight Church.
No chaser.
Where we keep things real, relevant,
Yeah.
and
Righteous.
listen, everybody, we have a very, very special guest in the studio. He's no
Special.
stranger to the Praise Station, but this is his first time in the Straight Church, or the Straight Missionary Baptist Apostolic
Episcopal,
Pentecostal Catholic
Episcopalian,
overcoming any and all Holy Ghost headquarters.
Waterfoot washing. And we got a testimony. Love lifted me.
Down at the Grove Church, no chaser family. Let's welcome the one and only.
The one, the only.
One of the best to ever do it. His name says it all. What the world needs now more than ever is JC.
I thought you waited on me to say it. I'm looking at you like, oh, he waiting on me.
Well, thank you, Bob,
Ladies
for
and
having
gentlemen.
me on this afternoon. I guess it only took, about 200 calls and about 1,000 texts to finally make it on the show.
Oh, God.
Don't do it like that.
We can talk about persistence.
Don't do that. Don't do us like that. Don't do us like
We're
that.
so happy to have you. Can you hear yourself?
No, I can't hear myself.
Let's turn them up just a little bit.
Let's see.
I got it now. I can hear myself.
Okay.
You good?
Yes.
We definitely glad to have Judge J.C. Love in the building now.
Absolutely.
We want to have some conversation, but for anyone who is listening who might have a question that he might be able to answer, we definitely are giving you the ability to call in 334-398-8791, 334-398-8791. But there's a few things we want to talk to him about, and I believe one of the first things that we really want to talk to you about, because we call this show It's On Me. I think it is beneficial for us to just know who is Judge J.C. Love.
Yeah, man.
Well, I was born and raised here in Montgomery. I call myself a proud product of the Montgomery Public School System, having gone to Brubaker, Baldwin, where I met my wife, and graduated from Jeff Davis High School.
Okay.
So I'm a volunteer.
JD.
No,
JD.
No.
JD.
Come back.
No.
He went to Baldwin.
That's
What did you do at Baldwin?
Well, I was in the academic component.
Oh yeah, you was too smart for me. I was singing in the choir and playing the drums. Yeah, you're too smart for me.
No, I said, it's one of those things when people talk about our school and what MPS can be, you can look back and see the quality of students that it has produced.
Absolutely.
Wow.
When you look at, Mayor Reed, he also came through MPS. I came through MPS. I think you two came because you
Came
all
through
come from
MPS. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
JD.
And so we're capable of producing, and I think it's really a part of getting everyone to buy into what's going on and really support our students to help make it what we all want to be.
Absolutely.
Man.
Absolutely. So you came through Montgomery Public School System. Where did you go next?
Well, I went to Morehouse College over in Atlanta.
I've heard about that place.
He's a Morehouse man.
Yeah. Oh.
It's a lot of Morehouse brothers listening to us right now. Don't want no problems with them.
We want no problem. Just tell me something about that experience, because to be totally honest, some young man may be listening or watching a replay, knows nothing about Morehouse, does not even know what being a Morehouse man is, but I know it's something that you all hold very near and dear to each other.
Well, it was a very initially different experience having gone to school in co-ed environments, and then you're sitting in classes with all males. But, it was just great being around a bunch of people who were focused and driven from all over the country and all over the world.
Yeah.
That were really, in a singular focus of one, trying to get an education to go ahead and help support themselves, but also find a way how they can give back and be a part of the larger, greater community and pull the next generation up. I enjoyed my time there. I got involved in student government.
Okay.
Started off, this past yesterday, we had some students from the SGA, from their publicity committee, were helping us pack book bags for our back to school extravaganza. And I was just telling them that's kind of how I started on the programming activity side.
Wow.
Wound up into my freshman year running for a corresponding secretary position, and then became vice president, and then became, president. And so that's generally how it goes. I enjoyed helping students, helping, resolve issues on campus. And,
wow.
My fellow students kind of believed in me and supported me and allowed me to do that. And so one of the things I know Randall Woodfin, he always credits me for giving him his start in politics, because we interned together back in summer of 2000 with Congressman Earl Hilliard in DC, and he had was a rising sophomore and said he wanted to get involved on campus, and I put him on the office staff. And the next year he ran for recording secretary and then ran for president. So he always gives me credit for giving me a start. He'll say, being SGA president at Morehouse is kind of akin to being the starting quarterback at Alabama.
Wow.
But it was definitely a great experience. I think it was just the combination of being in Atlanta at that time, that they were still in the past, the post Olympic spotlight, growing from like a regional city to more of an international national city,
Mhm.
and just looking at the opportunities that were there for African Americans, but also, with Morehouse, you're part of the Atlanta University Center. So there's
Yeah.
Spelman right across the street. Morehouse's campus runs into Clark Atlanta University, and then the other side of Clark, you had Morris Brown that we're happy to see get their accreditation back and still be able to go ahead now and train up the next generation. So
Wow.
we're all there. And so you have the ability as you matriculate a sophomore, junior, and senior to take classes at the different at each of the different universities.
Awesome.
And they had the opportunity to take classes over there at Morehouse.
I
So it's
love
like
it.
it's like a family.
It was kind of a family.
Yeah.
You had your rivalries, particularly around football season, but you still have the Greek organizations that were on each chapter. So they were able to cooperate and in activities and things like that. So it's kind of a family type atmosphere.
Sibling rivalry.
Sibling rivalry. I think
I
that
love
was a
it.
great way to do it.
Yeah.
So
Now, the big thing is he enjoyed handling student issues,
Right.
which means he wasn't an issue himself. That's what we
He was
did.
a problem solver.
Yeah. I couldn't
Not
be
a
on.
problem causer.
Yeah, I couldn't be on SGA and act the fool.
Yeah.
So now I come to a meeting, but I ain't gonna be on that.
So you do you think you would have survived SGA?
I could have.
Uh-huh.
I chose not to. I chose not to. I was more in the pleasure than having fun.
Good thing you weren't a part of this.
Yeah.
Not during that time.
I didn't like obligations either. I'm good. So I love it. I love it. So from Morehouse, and you said at Baldwin you met your wife.
Oh yes.
Wow. So how many years have y'all known each other?
You're probably talking about, would that have been like 94, 95? So you're going on almost over near 30 years.
Yeah, because I'm 35 and I was in kindergarten around then.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
And I'll tell you this.
I was one or two.
Yeah.
Interesting. That's interesting.
That in ninth grade, I had a big crush on her in PE. We did different little activities for like 6-week blocks, and so we had come and had square dance again in PE, and they were in the same PE class, and I'm like going to partner off. And so I remember looking around the room and counting and singing, just kind of slyly kind of going around. Oh, I'm standing here. So made the count, and I was my square dancing partner.
Also,
Wow.
now riddle me this: who was the coach when you were at Baldwin?
We had Coach Moore.
Coach Moore.
yes.
He was my coach too. He
Really?
was my coach.
Really?
The greatest coach ever.
Yes,
Did y'all play pickleball and all of that?
we did that. Yes.
Man,
Wow.
ain't nothing changed.
He used to make us run that block.
Oh
You know?
man, that bow was terrible. Coming up that hill,
Oh,
my
yes.
God, I wanted to die. Yeah, awesome.
I was thinking about the weird part about it was that we after PE we just simply put some deodorant on and went back to class. Even
Right.
though you wouldn't do that now, you wouldn't go to the
Right.
gym and hit a workout without
Yeah.
doing a shower. If not,
Yeah.
then you'd be out there talking about it. Like, man, what's up with your man JC?
Right.
Yeah, he just came out there, worked out, and put back on his clothes, and went back to the office.
Man,
Can't do that now.
you own to something though.
Can't do that
Like,
now.
legit go to the locker room and take off these little clothes and put some new deodorant on. Like, I'm good.
Yeah, go back to the cafeteria, and
We
go back to class.
We sharing deodorant and everything. Now. You ain't got no more. You got some. Wow. Yeah, that was the time. That was the time. So all the way to probate, judge. How do you handle? What is life like? Because it's you, your beautiful wife, and I know you have some children as
Yes,
well.
we got 3 kids: a 7-year-old, a 6-year-old, and a 5-year-old little boy. 2 girls and a little boy.
Man.
So this upcoming school year, I have a 3rd grader, a 1st grader, and a kindergarten.
Yeah, you even behind me.
Yes.
So how you balancing all this?
Well, it gets tough. It's kind of a juggling act, but we've been very fortunate to really be able to rely on our families and to really come through and do it. So this summer as the kids are going back to activities, my mother-in-law, she retired, so she is picking them up and taking them with her.
Ain't
That's
God
tremendous
good?
help.
Oh,
Tremendous help.
And so she
Yeah.
helps us during the school year to pick them up from school, and she'll work with them on their homework before we get home to do it. And so she's a former teacher, and so you know, she's really taken that on, and I don't know we'd really do without her. So she's really been a big help, and so it's really been, you know, having to expand the village these days.
Yeah, that's a blessing.
Absolutely. Yeah.
That's absolutely a blessing.
Absolutely.
Because your wife is successful as well.
Oh yes.
And y'all been a very successful couple in the city of Montgomery. But what social media would call what relationship goals?
Absolutely.
Power
Power
couples.
couple. Dynamic duo.
That's the love. That's the love.
Building an empire.
Yeah, that's the loves. And so for you to be able to balance all of this, I just want to hear, what is a day in the life of our probate judge? What does it look like?
Well, you know, I think a typical day is, you know, you're getting up, trying to get the kids off and ready for school, getting them fed, getting them dressed, and you know, I'm generally the one who has my two girls last year. They were at Forest Avenue, so I could drop them off on my way to work. So I was taking them, making sure they get into school, head to the office. Generally on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, you know, we may have a commitment hearing that we'll hear in the morning, and that's with someone who may be have undergone some form of mental crisis, and so we got to make a determination about whether or not they need to be committed on an inpatient or an outpatient, depending on their level of family and community support. Then we may have, you know, a will contest or having to admit a will to probate during that morning part of it. And then, you know, I have a meeting. We've had a meeting for the past, 2 years working with the Alabama Administrative Office of the Courts and the programmers that have created ALAFAL, and that's the courts, if you go in the district and circuit court, their electronic filing system. And so they've agreed to create an electric filing system for the probate courts because we hadn't been on it. And so we've been selected as one of the first counties to be on it.
Wow.
And so we've been doing
Major.
them, testing issues, trying to make sure we get it to do everything we need to do. And so we're finally at a point that hopefully in the next month or so we'll be able to go live with it. So that's
Awesome.
been a big project. Also, generally have a standing call with another vendor we've been working with. We're trying to bring kiosks here to Montgomery County and have them in the grocery store. So you can go ahead and go to the kiosk and it'll print out your automobile renewal sticker.
That'd be tremendous.
So just trying to do as our kind of one of our focuses for the
Tremendous.
office. is
So that means
trying
we
to-
don't have to sit in line.
Oh no, not trying to sit in line, but you can
That's
also
a
do it
lot.
online now. You can do it from your phone if you have a mobile app. So
Uh-oh.
we're trying to do more to bring our office to people.
What's the
rather
mobile
have-
app for people listening? What's the mobile app?
It's the Montgomery County Probate Court app. You can go to the Google Play, Apple Store, simply type in Montgomery County Probate Court, and you can use that app to really do pretty much anything you need to do by coming to visit one of our 4 offices from your mobile phone. So you renew your tag and driver's license from your phone. If you have to go in because you've got to register a new vehicle, you can check office wait times if you plan what office to go to.
Wow.
And it'll break it down per transaction. So you can see how long it's taking at our west office on Mobile Highway to process a driver's license renewal or to process just a simple renewal. And then you got the election tab. And so you can look at sample ballots, you can track your absentee ballot, you can register to vote, you can check precinct wait times, find out where it is that you need to go and vote. So, and last year we became a passport acceptance facility where if you're traveling, you can get your passport from one of our satellite offices, the one on McGee Road, Atlanta Highway, on Mobile Highway, and you can make an appointment there from your mobile phone. And so
Wow.
we really tried to really make a push to really bring our office to people. We know how demanding the workday is, and it's not always possible for people to have to be able to visit one of our offices. So the more they can do from their phone, the more that they can be able to do from a kiosk at the grocery store where they're buying milk and eggs and getting cereal for the kids. Then I think that's kind of where we're trying to go. And so you'll be able to do that, and then you'll be able to renew your driver's license. And so that's something that we see now that may be something we'll have Q1. I think they say late January, early February of 2024. So working on that, and then on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, that's generally when I do weddings. So we'll have couples scheduled to go ahead and get married. And so today, before I came here, we had 5 today. And then on Tuesday and Thursday, those are generally our standard hearing days. So we're hearing a bunch of different matters, whether it be about appointing people to be guardians, that's to be able to handle people's financial affairs, or guardianships, make decisions over the person or adoptions, because all adoptions in Alabama begin in the probate court, or name changes, or an involuntary commitment, or a case involving eminent domain when the government's trying to take private property for a public purpose. We'll hear all those
Man,
matters in addition to the normal things that may come during the workday, where it be, human resources issues, or dealing with other vendors, or trying to work on some other projects that we're working on, trying to improve services. So no 2 days are alike. You can come in and think it'll be a quiet day, and you find out that the toilets are out in an office, and then you spend all day trying to make sure that's up, or the server is down at a particular office, and trying to make sure that gets up, and trying to make sure you can let the public know about that service outage. They can try to plan different trips. So, no 2 days are alike. And so, it can throw, it has a little bit of unpredictability. And then in the evenings, when you leave, sometimes there are a lot of neighborhood meetings that you got to go to, neighborhood community events. And so you try to balance that off to also notice that you got young kids at home.
yeah.
There was a community member called me last night around 7:30, and I told her I was leaving the office, and she gave me an earful and said, "You got to let some of this work go. You got young kids at home, and so they're not going to remember. You're going to look back and hate this time that you missed them because you're sitting over there working." And so you try to balance that out as well.
Absolutely.
To get there and spend some time with them before you go to bed at night. But it's really been a fun job, and I really enjoy it because you're always helping people.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And so, if it's helping someone deal with the issue they have regarding their tag or driver's license, you're still helping them with really bringing families together in the adoption space or the wedding space, because those are the fun parts of really bringing families together. Because with adoptions, they come in with, their whole community will be there with them. And so you can have a courtroom full of people. They want to take pictures. And so
Absolutely.
and then with the weddings, you have those who come in and say, "All right, I'm just trying to get married real quick and go back. I got to go back to work." Those who are dressed and they got 20 people with them. And so we try to make it as special for them as possible. And so if they've got their father there or a male with them, I always make them walk the bride down the aisle
Okay.
to try to and give them time to take their pictures. So we'll do, you got to
Absolutely.
get mom in there, you got to get dad in there. So we try to, I tell them this is their only wedding day. So we got to make it as special for them as possible. And
I
so
love it.
I'll let your listeners know. I try to recruit these guys to come and help me out to do some things, but I always get crickets. Like, we'll do it. But I understand they got full plates as well.
Don't even do us like
do
that.
this show and also trying to administer to their congregations, because there's still people out there that want to see you at the hospital.
Absolutely.
See you when they're sick and shut in. They don't want to see the associate minister. They want to see you. And it's great that you came by to see me, JC, but I want to go see Pastor Paul.
And some of us still go to work.
Yes.
Yeah. So, Judge, with all of that you have to do, how do you find time to decompress? And in those times, what are some of the things that you just like to do to just relax?
Well, you try to fit in time. As I've tried to prioritize my health through exercise and eating better. So, trying to get in some time to go out there and go walking in the evening.
Gotcha.
Allows you to kind of just decompress before you deal with with young kids. You got the chaos at home you run through, and then picking you up and fighting and getting stuff and trying to be a peacemaker, and dealing with getting them down and bedtime and all of that, and getting them settled. So you try to carve out some time for yourself, whether it be before they get up or in the evening, and you can kind of go ahead and do that. And sometimes you try to get some time in when they've gone to bed.
Gotcha.
You talk to the missus and see how her day is going, and just trying to decompress. You don't want to be in this cycle of it's work, dealing with kids, sleep, wake up, doing the same thing over again.
Yeah.
Yeah, and see, you talking about what does he do to decompress?
Mm-hmm.
I was waiting to hear him say that he eats breakfast and lunch, because it sounds like meeting after meeting, and I'm just wondering what he eating for
You
lunch.
may have to be like this guy right here with those cereal bars.
Nah,
Oh, I've been there all
I play no games with him. Give me that cinnamon toast, cinnamon, that cereal bar right through there. I can keep running for a while.
But I'll tell them that sometimes they don't hold me as well as they may hold him. So sometimes by 2:30, I'm hearing my stomach growl.
Yeah.
Not like sitting in the meeting and hitting, and you start hearing the stomach growl unless you're on.
That's when you go to Taco Bell.
Yes.
Oh, here you go.
You can eat Taco Bell and keep moving. Now
That's true.
that other stuff sit you down for a
Yes.
while. But we see Sister Spivey was saying that the app works well. So we know that you've been very successful in all your endeavors to push us further and closer to the 21st century with all that we do, which I believe has been a blessing to many. Has been a very, very, especially in the pandemic. I mean, not having to come into a building, have to wear a mask, have to make sure you have all of your paperwork, or you get sent out. You got to drive home and get it. That was a blessing for us. So we definitely thank you for all of your efforts as our probate judge, and we have not only been blessed because of your efforts as probate judge concerning coming to the building, but the efforts that you've made to let people know the necessity of voting. I believe we're getting closer to voting. It's August, right?
August 22nd.
22nd. And what are we voting for in that moment?
This is the city of Montgomery municipal election.
Uh-huh.
So voters here in the city of Montgomery will be voting for one of 7 city council members and for mayor. So there are 2 districts here where those councilmen were unopposed, and so they will not be on the ballot. So City Councilman Ed Grimes in District 1 and City Councilman Aronde Mitchell in District 6 were unopposed, so they won't be on the ballot.
Awesome.
So so you'll be able to vote for. You got competitive races in districts 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, and 9. And so just been trying to really encourage voters that for the next, I think 25 days, they're going to be showing up at your neighborhood meetings. There are at least 2 forums that I know of. That I know the Deltas and the AKs are putting on a series of forums on different dates with different city councilmen. And then there's another candidate forum that I believe that a number of community groups are putting together at the Department of Archives. And so just to encourage voters to really get out, that if you live here, then you have a vested interest in the future of Montgomery. And so to really take this seriously, particularly at the local level, because these are the offices that really have more of an effect on your day-to-day life.
Absolutely.
Who is sitting in the White House, who's sitting in the governor's mansion, because these are going to be the people that are going to deal with the issues regarding sanitation or crime or blight in your community or economic opportunities or what type of events and businesses they're attracting here to the city. So you should pay very close attention to it, because if you live here, you own property here, then your investment in your home or any real estate that you have as rental properties are all going to be contingent to what these people do or don't do in office.
Right.
And so we just want to encourage everyone to really come out and vote. That this is going to really be one of those important elections. All elections are important.
Absolutely.
But really want people to really realize that you talk about, day to day, and what you may complain about, what you see in your neighborhood or what you don't see in Montgomery, and what you see when you go to Atlanta, or Birmingham, or Nashville, then it's going to be these people who are the ones who are going to make those decisions about whether or not we, go ahead and adopt some of those things you're seeing in other cities. And what type of opportunities and how we remain competitive at a time when you're seeing that, Huntsville's talking about bringing another 120,000 people there in the next 10 years. Or you're seeing what Mobile has done with their annexation to pass Montgomery to be the 2nd largest city in the state. So now we're the 3rd largest city. And then what Birmingham's trying to do to continue to grow our economy. So we want to make sure that you have people who are in place who understand that, who are committed to making sure that we remain competitive. They're committed to making sure that that people live here, have opportunities, that they're doing things to help continue to improve the quality of life of people here, doing something with crime so we all feel safe, making sure that our children are being educated, and when they finish school, the opportunities for them to stay here are here.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Because I know we have friends who say, well, I'd like to be in Montgomery, but the jobs aren't there. What I do, they don't have that in Montgomery.
Right.
So, want to have an opportunity for anyone who wants to be in Montgomery to be able to be here. And so it really comes down to those people who are there. And so there are a number of first-time candidates who are running for office who have offered themselves up. And so I just encourage you to go to your neighborhood meetings, pay attention to these forums, and really find out what these candidates are about and what they stand for. And so that's the great part about our system. Even myself, I'll be on the ballot next spring. And so I'll stand before the people, and they'll decide whether or not I deserve another 6 years or not. But that's the joy of it, that we remain accountable to our people, to the people, and the people have a say in who is going to represent them.
Absolutely.
So is there anything, I guess, process-wise that we need to be made aware of this year during the voting cycle?
Well, one of the things that we've been trying to encourage voters is from 2019 up until this 2023, after the 2020 census, when the city council had to go through and redraw their district just because of population shift and how districts had to move a little bit eastward because that's kind of where the population has drifted. That your listeners pay attention to the cards that they may have received or should be receiving in the next few days from the Board of Registrars,
Okay.
listing where their polling precinct is. Now we understand that there are some people who got a text today saying, "Well, I thought I voted here versus here," so you'll see two different, polling locations on that card. You're going to see a county polling location, and you're going to see a city polling location. For this election, you're going to go to the city polling election. We really tried to make an effort, because with the city county, a few of the districts still have different polling precincts, and voters oftentimes get confused during these elections. I generally vote here, and they go to the wrong precinct for the county, the state and national elections, or for the municipal elections. But there's still a few that have gone. But just because, you look at the list of precincts, they went from 46 in 2019 down to 39. And because some precincts that people had historically voted in are now in different city council districts, it's really important that they pay attention to those cards and also know their status. So if you haven't gotten your card by next week, then I would encourage you to call the Board of Registrars because they maintain the voting list here in Montgomery County. And so call them at 334-832-1215, and they'll be able to tell you where you need to go and vote. And also, if you haven't got it, want to make sure that you haven't been placed on an active voter list.
Right.
That sometimes happens. So if you've moved, since 2022 or since 2020, and you haven't gotten this card, then you need to go and also update your address. So you moved in any time, you need to make sure they have your current address. And one of the things that I was talking to the Board of Registrars before I came down here, and they were sharing with me the calls they received from people who were saying, well, I live here, and the people who live in this neighborhood vote here, but my card says I vote some other place. And the issue is that the Board of Registrars mailed it to the last known address they had on file that they had filed in the UPS, sent it to forwarded to their new address. And so for those voters, because of that, then they need to call the Board of Registrars and visit them on 125 Washington Avenue and update their address. So they'll be at the polling precinct for the people who live in their community and neighborhood. But if you have any questions regarding your status, where to go to look up information or go on this election, you can go to our mobile app, and we've got the sample ballot that's out there. If you have questions about your voting status, you can go to the Secretary of State's website at alabamavotes.gov. And if anyone wants to vote absentee, then absentee voting is available, began on Monday.
What was that address one more time?
125 Washington Avenue.
No, the one of the emails, the website.
The website, the Secretary of State's website is alabamavotes.gov. But the Montgomery Election Center has its own website, montgomeryvotesal.gov. And they'll have all the information related to this municipal election up on their website. And you can also get to it if you have our mobile app by going to the homepage, clicking the election tab, and it'll be able to find the information that you need.
Listen, we'll be back with more from
It's finna get sticky.
the Montgomery County probate judge, the one and only Judge J.C. Love.
Love lived there.
The third. I'm the third. He's the third.
The third.
The third.
And I'm the junior.
Y'all keep it live.
Fam, what are y'all doing? Are y'all cooking tonight? It is Friday. I know y'all don't like to cook, but we just wondering what's going on tonight in your space. Matter of fact, we ought to ask y'all the question: have you received your card? I got mine, I think, last week or a week before. You ain't received your card, Daisha? Are you cooking? What is that note to? I need to know. Deborah Starks, how you doing? Good to see you. Margaret Bell Blevins, excuse me. Good to see you. Sister Ella Jenkins, how you doing, fam?
What's up, Ms. Ella?
Sister Andrea Spriggs, how you doing? Family, y'all gotta talk to me. Is y'all cooking or no? What you eat tonight, Trey? Grass?
Don't play.
You know, everybody eat grass.
Don't play. Nah, man. I think I'm gonna get me I think I'm gonna do a steak and potato.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
gonna do a steak and potato.
Okay.
Yeah.
You cooking it?
No. Me and my wife, we're gonna go out.
She said you revived your card. You've been a revival this week. You received your card and the previous owner's card. She said she get hers every year. She probably moved out of the state or something. Yeah, so you on ID.
You're probably right.
Okay, all right.
What you cooking?
I think Taco Bell.
What about the kids?
Not a surprise.
Everybody have Taco Bell or just you?
They eat whatever.
And if you're gonna have pizza night,
Well, we used to do that. They haven't had pizza in a while. And so if I do pizza, we're going to Hungry House. That's my favorite.
Really?
Homegrown.
What do you get from there?
So I'm gonna get a normal pizza. I'm probably gonna do light sauce. I'm gonna get every ingredient. So my pizza ended up being like $30 for no reason. So I get a large with sausage, pepperoni, bacon, all of it. Then I'm getting butter garlic crust and Cajun and ranch. And they're flavor crust.
So there's the plot twist.
Oh yeah, and it's free. It's free flavor crust. So whatever you put on there, yeah, you're just gonna be blessed, man. It's not like biting in the bread and it has seasoning on it.
Well, that's true. How old are your kids?
9 and 10. I think I'm right.
Yeah, you're a little. Mine are at the age that if you bring any food,
It's the look on your face.
If I brought Taco Bell, they're gonna be in my plate. And
Oh
so
yeah.
I find myself eating in the car. I get in the car.
Oh,
I eat while I'm
Lord.
in the house.
That's what I would normally do.
Yeah.
See, I got a daughter who, when I pull up, she peeks out into the garage.
Really?
Oh yeah, I got on her. Stop opening the door. She try to see what's going on. Then they love to get in my car next so they can see where I went to eat. So I just asked them. Matter of fact, I know what they like. So I just ordered on Taco Bell app.
Oh,
I got rewards for days. I got stock in Taco Bell now too.
Really?
Yeah, praise the Lord. I push it hard.
Oh, I know it.
But yeah, so yeah, I know what they want. I got my card. I'm a city employee. Please vote. Yes, ma'am. Sister Sprigg. So Doc, we got to get into
It's extravaganza.
We got to get into this big event that you have going on.
All right.
We
Yeah.
want to wait till we get back on the air. And normally when people come on, we make them sing.
Oh, y'all don't want to do that? No.
And we want to do that.
No.
So we might have to ask you some questions like, what are your top, 5 gospel songs or some? We need to. We got to pick your musical brain.
We'll figure out
because we
time.
do play music. But we definitely, man, we're so grateful to have you here. Family, who else cooking? Y'all quiet in this Presbyterian church. I'll go if I have to go. Yeah. There's a lot of back to school stuff going on this
Yeah, a lot of bashes, giveaways.
we're gonna support somebody. That's what we're gonna do in this season.
It's
We have
gonna be
back to
good.
school party, but we're gonna support somebody because there's so much going on. And I don't know about others, other children in schools. Like my kids, you have to send money and pay for their school supplies.
Oh, yeah.
That's already done.
Really?
Do that in the summer. So whatever you give us for free, it's just at the crib.
Okay.
Which is good for them to have some stuff at home, but
Yeah.
it's already done. So, and then one of the things we definitely have to talk about in our community is the people who gonna run to every bash and get everything free.
Yeah, with every book bag.
They doing that.
Facebook Marketplace.
They doing that.
Marketplace.
Yeah.
We got book bags for the low. We a trip.
You said they could go there.
We are a trip, man. I remember in the pandemic, we were helping Councilman Aronde and a few others with the turkeys, and we were doing the vaccination shots, and you see the same car just keep coming around, and somebody different all the time. It's like, what is going on? Boss man's here.
What's that when you come say an item or what's the deal about you have to commit somebody?
I'm talking about the driver license.
These guys right here may be good candidates.
No.
Better be careful.
No.
Oh man, come talk to the people.
Man, the people don't want to talk to me.
They always want to see you.
Hey, what's up? Hey, just remember, I'm too legit to quit.
That'll work every time. See you.
Man. That bring back memories. MC Hammer.
Well, you know, he came to Montgomery back during that time.
Don't tell me that.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was about 93 because I went to the concert. And he came to Montgomery. Yeah.
I went here.
Did that Too Legit quit tour? He came.
Wow.
He came to the Garrett Coliseum.
I was too young, man. When I tell you, I got a whooping one Sunday morning
Why?
in the kitchen. You remember it was a time where everybody had white tile in the kitchen.
Uh-huh.
I had my church shoes on, and I was doing it. It was right before church. My mom came in and whooped me.
Did she?
I was doing all them dances, all that thrusting. What you doing, boy? And then marked up her white floor. It was church scuff everywhere.
Oh, she got you.
Oh, dog.
Oh, she got you.
You know the one
Yeah,
church
she got
shoes,
you.
they scuffle floor.
Yeah, she got
Oh,
you.
yeah.
She got you.
Yeah, she got you.
It was over with.
Elbow grease. Dog.
Over
I'm down
So where was it during church or Sunday school? You get that little.
there.
That
Oh,
come out you
God.
about 45 minutes to an hour later. Get that.
See, that's why I had a problem with Trey. Because Trey ain't get in trouble in church.
Why are you?
Look, my mama gave me that look, and I be crying. No, Mama.
Can you just let that go? That's been how many years ago?
You sitting in the pulpit doing what you.
So you was
want to do.
you was a hater?
I
You
might
was
get-
hating.
I might
You was
get
a
in
hater.
trouble.
You was a hater. You was a hater. You want to sit in the pulpit, Lee?
Yeah, I did. I really did. My dad was up there. I wanted to be up there too.
He's like, why he sitting up there? Why I can't come up there?
That's my dad. There goes my dad.
Tracy with his daddy.
Hey. Straight church, no chaser. What? Heading to Barlow Workshop tonight again. And oh, I heard. How's the workshop going, y'all? My kids like yellow rice.
Montgomery's inspiration station, Praise 96.5 FM, WMGY. Used to lock in with yours truly, the Crown Prince, Pastor Trey.
Pastor Lee Bizzle.
This is Straight Church.
No chaser.
Listen, before we dive back into our conversation with the Honorable
Uh-huh.
Probate Judge
JC
Love the Third,
The
we do
third.
want to shout out another one of our sponsors,
Shout out.
the Wellness Coalition.
Oh, we thank you.
Major shouts out to the Wellness Coalition. Listen, COVID-19 is still here, and there is still a risk of getting sick.
Uh-huh.
The Wellness Coalition is partnering with pharmacies and clinics in Montgomery, Lowndes County, and Macon County to increase COVID-19 vaccination rates. You can also find vaccination and booster sites near you by visiting thewellnesscoalition.org. That's thewellnesscoalition.org. Remember, when you get vaccinated against COVID-19, you are protecting yourself and your loved ones. This fight isn't over just yet. COVID-19 is still here. If you would like to talk to someone about COVID-19 vaccinations and where to find them, call the Wellness Coalition today at 334-293-6502. That's 334-293-6502, or visit thewellnesscoalition.org/COVID.
Yeah.
Once again, major shouts out to the Wellness
Shouts out, fam.
Coalition.
We thank God for you. So look, we've been having some good conversation. We talked about how it's on me, how we need to take more accountability, how we need to make sure that we're responsible for our actions and our decisions, and how sometimes we allow our pride to get in the way of us being able and open to apologize for things. And then we got this great man of God in the building. And so he's been blessing us with information just about himself. I think it's always good to know who we have in office and who is representing us. And I believe Judge J.C. Love is doing an amazing job for the city of Montgomery. So hats off to him wherever you are.
Thank you.
Wow.
Just put them hands together. Give God praise for him. But he's been blessing us with tips and things of that nature at the upcoming election, August the 22nd.
Yes.
But he is not just a judge who just gets us ready for election and tells us that we need to vote, but they're always doing something in the community. Judge, you got something coming up. What is it?
Well, this Sunday, July 30th, from 1 to 4 p.m., we're doing our first back to school extravaganza. So we will be giving out 1,000 backpacks and supplies to kids. We're going to have free food out there from Chandler's Barbecue. We're going to have inflatables out there. We're going to have about 60 different community organizations that have signed up to come out and have information and supplies out there for the kids. And so, as you mentioned, the Wellness Coalition, they're going to be out there with us, as well as the Alabama Department of Public Health,
Awesome.
The YMCA of Greater Montgomery, the DA's office with their cyberbullying, which, in this social media age affects a lot of our kids and how they deal with and negotiate that. And so we've seen, unfortunately, some kids that have been able to deal with the press and stress of cyberbullying and have committed suicide. So they'll be out there to have information for both parents and the students. We'll have the sheriff department, their DARE unit. We're going to you probably name them. We'll have them out there. The Girl Scouts of Southern Alabama will be out there.
I love it.
So we're just really happy about the level of support that we've really got for this event, and that it's grown and grown. And eventually we just had to cut the line and said we're out of space for people to participate. So the more and more we got the word out, the more and more people called and said that we want to be a part of it. So
I love it. I love it. Do you have any churches involved as well?
We've got Hutchinson Missionary Street Baptist Church that are going to be giving out free sneakers. So when you've got to outfit, multiple kids for school, being able to save money on sneakers is a great thing. And so they've had a strong drive, and I've gotten calls from people saying we want to go ahead and contribute sneakers. Where do we go? And so they will be having the sneakers out there.
That's major.
Yeah,
and we're excited about that. I think that's dope that we have the opportunity to have something like that going on for the city. Because normally there's a bunch of small organizations doing it. There's a bunch of churches, of course, who will be doing it as well. And I think, to be totally honest, sometimes it's better for us to come together. And we have the opportunity to be more impactful.
And we're happy, the city of Montgomery has been a big part of this event. We'll have the city, county, library, the fire department to be out there with a fire truck and their smokehouse that'll be out there. The Clean City Commission will have the Montgomery Stop the Violence will be out there. And they've been really active and out there in the community, really trying to encourage the youth to put down the guns and stop the violence that we've been seeing. We'll have MGM Unite out there. They'll be doing voter registration. We'll have members from our office out there from the election center giving out the sample ballots, helping people find their polling precinct, having absentee ballot applications out there, as well as some of the other offices to deal with information regarding what we do on the probate court side, what we're doing on the tag and driver's license, marriage, business, records and recording, and archive side. So we'll have our staff out there as well helping us. And we also have a number of different volunteers that are out there. Even today, packing the bag, we had Miss ASU and her court were out there.
Awesome.
Dope.
And but we've got the ASU Golden Ambassadors, we've got the Women of Wheel, Citizens That Care, some of our probate court interns, the Kappa Leaguers from Kappa Alpha Psi fraternity.
Hold on, now, are you a Kappa?
I'm a Kappa.
See, I heard the way you said that. I heard it.
He put so much love.
You heard that?
He put so much love.
No. Like, you got to hear people who aren't a part of organizations. They don't say the name right, but he said the entire name. They'd be like KHI, or he said Kappa Alpha Psi.
Let you
and
know.
He said the Kappa Leaguer. He's a Kappa man. But we thank God for you, man. And I think it's interesting.
But we're going to have the Alpha Rho Zeta chapter, Zeta Phi Beta sorority. They're going to be out there with their youth.
The sorors in the house.
Yeah, your sorors going to be out there. So they're supporting.
We with it. Well, we got to go and support them, so we'll be supporting you too.
Oh yes, we appreciate it. So
in a roundabout way. It's the way you did it in a roundabout way.
Oh yeah,
constitutionally bound. That's how it goes. But so you have a myriad of people that are part of this. Can I just, on behalf, I think I can speak for every pastor when I say thank you, because you're starting at 1:00.
Oh yeah. We're trying to make sure we get them when they're leaving church before they go home and get that bite to eat.
I mean, people-
get supplies for the kids.
People don't think about this,
They
but
don't.
we really have to fight with the interests sometimes of the city because people don't consider church on Sunday anymore.
That's true.
And so I say thank you.
Absolutely.
I
Absolutely.
say thank you because they'll be in line and they'll just forget about service. At least we can get the beginning of our sermon in
Oh yeah.
before they go line up to get ready for you. So we say thank you. Yeah, man.
Good looking out.
Oh, Doc, you already
Good
know.
looking out. Good looking
He
out.
said food too? And barbecue?
Free was it.
Oh, it's over with.
Free
bro.
was it.
It's over with.
Free was it.
So you
Yeah.
get a chance to leave church, go get supplies for the kids. They get something to eat.
Uh-huh.
They also have the cotton candy, the popcorn, and the ice cream out there as well.
Yeah.
And then hopefully on the drive home, they're sleeping in the back seat.
I'm with it.
You put them down for a few hours, and
Yeah.
you worry about what you're gonna cook for dinner that night.
Yeah, they might not make my 10 o'clock, but they can come to 8.
Yeah.
And I think you at 9.
We're at
right?
9:30.
You at 9:30.
So they can make 9:30.
They ain't got no excuse.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know?
Restoration.
Now them-
No excuses.
Them 10 and 11 o'clock now, y'all might be a little messed up. Nah, but I think it's a blessing, and I think it's going to be major for the city. And my prayer is simply that those who really need are going to be in place so that they can receive, because it's necessary. I know there's plenty of children that go to school and don't have what they need,
Mhm.
and we don't normally find these things out until halfway through a semester.
That's true.
And now they're behind on things because they were struggling to get through without.
Yeah.
And so this is a good opportunity for you to get what you need. If you got cousins in them, Pookie, Ray, Junebug, what's the other names? Felicia, Keisha, Shaniqua, Tonisha, Boniqua.
Shay.
They shouldn't have this name, but if their name is Doretha or Clarita, let them know to come out there. What time again, Judge?
1 to 4 p.m. So you got enough time that if you see them trying to leave before you finish your sermon, say, Judge Love's still gonna be out there. I'm not gonna leave at 4. I ain't gonna keep y'all that long, so y'all sit back down.
Sit back down.
Y'all heard them, didn't
Where
you?
you going?
We're gonna take this clip. I'm gonna play it as soon
I
as
know.
sit back down. Nah, man, I love it.
We're gonna be at the McGee Place Shopping Center. That's 3439 McGee Road. That's across from the Lamp High School, across
Awesome.
from the fire department out there.
That's behind the soul food spot, right?
Yeah, Simply Southern, behind our South office.
We
We
know
got
what that's
Bishop
at.
Parker and the Dollar General that's there. So we'll be set up in that parking lot, and we'll have everything organized to get you in and out as quickly and as easily as possible after you finish up with Pastor Stewart's and Pastor Walker's.
It will not be long. It's the 5th Sunday too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be good. Well, Judge, thank you so much for stopping by. Of course, this will not be the last time we have you on Straight Church No Chaser.
Well, hold on, we got to get this though. So,
Uh-oh.
so give me. 5 is a big number, huh? Give me 3 of your favorite gospel songs.
And this is only because he doesn't sing.
Yeah, because I really wanted to sing like "Can't Stay Too Long."
Uh-oh.
Well, I'll have to put one
Gotta
for the
keep-
Center of My Joy.
Center My Joy, Richard Smallwood.
Yeah.
Amazing Grace is always a good one.
Awesome, yes, sir.
Marvin Sapp never would have made it. I put it there. I put the Whitney Houston version of "I Love the Lord."
Come on,
Yeah. He naming them. He naming them.
Preacher's wife.
Always good to go ahead and get you through it. So that may have been a little. I said, that you had to been about 2 or 3 when that came out.
Yeah, I was young, but I was like the little kids. I was young, but I was watching. Yeah, I
Still
love
trying to ease your way up to the pulpit at that time, wasn't it?
No. By the time I knew what was happening up there, I didn't want to go.
I do appreciate you all not making me sing. I don't want to, have to go ahead and have your viewers, your listeners, have to turn off the radio or change the station.
Well, I think maybe we're gonna save it for your next visit when you get on the ballot again.
All right, I'm gonna need some auto tunes.
Well, whenever he start these vocal lessons, you'll be able to he'll be able to help you with them.
Hey, we're gonna make it happen.
Y'all gonna send me over to Terrence and Meow Academy.
There you go.
I'm gonna be there with the 5-year-old trying to get my pitch down.
There you go. T. Baldwin gonna get him right.
That's it.
He gonna have you singing some what's that boy name? Watch Yourself. He gonna teach you that Bruno Mars. There you go. I love it. I love
Yeah.
it. Shout out to T-Ball.
Well, before I leave, can I get you all to do something for me?
Absolutely. What you
What you
got?
got?
If you can go ahead and encourage your parishioners to come out and go to the polls on August 22nd.
Yes,
really
sir.
stress the importance of the election, the importance of voting. That'll definitely be helpful.
Now, is there any opportunity for us to get like some of those sample ballots that we might be able to give to the congregates, or any other information we can give to them that might help them get to the polls and know who's on and what's going on?
We can get those to you. Let me know what you need, and if I have to drop them off personally, I'll get them to you.
Awesome.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, they going.
Yeah.
They ain't got no other decision to make.
Your vote is your voice.
Absolutely.
So speak loudly.
Speak loudly.
It's gonna be good. I'm gonna put that on a t-shirt.
Speak loudly.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that's gonna be good.
It's fine. Just spell the Lee, L-E-E at the
No.
end. Loudly.
Percy
All right.
Julian.
Good night.
Hey, you could be their commencement speaker for
For
the first graduating class for Percy.
No,
They can make that happen.
They have an amazing principal
Absolutely.
in Dr. Ibrahim Lee,
Yeah.
Pastor Ibrahim Lee.
Absolutely.
And you went to Baldwin.
He went to Baldwin.
Yeah.
He's also a member of Kappa
Yeah.
Alpha Psi fraternity.
Oh, no, he.
But you still can speak though. They can have you speak to the seniors.
That's my boy though.
Seniors breakfast.
Well, I think ultimately they're in good hands.
This-
I heard they had they had some great happen event maybe this weekend, getting their seniors ready for school.
This is gonna be a very dope school year though.
I believe so.
Yeah, I believe it's gonna be.
I'm
very,
happy
very
I'm
dope.
not in school though. Amen. Praise the Lord.
Why is that?
Because I just don't have the bandwidth anymore.
That's a smart answer.
I'm gonna let you have that.
That's a smart answer.
Mm.
That's a smart answer. Judge, once again, thank you so much for stopping by. Listen, everybody, we'll be back next Friday with Straight Church.
No chaser.
With yours truly, Pastor Trey.
And Pastor Lee Bizzle.
We'll see you next week.
Peace out, fam.
Yeah, you gotta have me back on and talk about the estates and the estate planning stuff that a lot of people don't do, and they wind up tearing families apart. That's the bad part. We got siblings over there fighting
Wow.
And you have to deal with all of that.
siblings. Oh yeah. And they sit on the other side of the courtroom, and sometimes you got, if it's been a sibling, if they don't have kids, then all the siblings stand in here. And I've had mothers have to testify against other kids out there fighting. And it's like, I know your parents and I know your loved ones, and not want y'all to be sitting here and fighting.
Yeah.
Not over those pearls.
Oh no.
Mm-mm.
Family, we're gonna leave y'all. We're grateful that y'all tuned in. We hope y'all have a great evening and a great rest of the weekend. It's your boy Pastor Lee B.
Pastor Trey.
We out of here. Straight church.
No. Oh, wait. That's
Oh,
backwards.
the part.
Straight church.
No, I want you to sing it.
No. It's,
Straight church.
No.
Remember
that from the video?
No.
Don't do
All right,
that.
go ahead.
Don't do that. He's been a hater ever since I was a baby. He's
Look,
been a
I
hater.
love it.
I was in the pulpit. He wanted to get in the pulpit.
Hey,
I was on the communion table. He was trying to get down there.
you was under the table. What you doing?
I don't know. That's what they told me. I don't remember that. I don't know.
What you doing on the
I
table?
have no idea. I gotta ask my dad. But anyway, it's amazing what happens when you be a witness
Mm.
and let love abide. I've been trying to help him stay on the right track. He's coming.
Amen.
The hateration is starting to leave him.
Amen. Tell them for what it is.
Listen,
And get them off here.
He'll stop being a hater sooner or later.
Ah,
Decided to catch my.
yeah, you trying to rhyme a little bit.
He'll stop being a hater eventually. I love y'all. This has been Straight Church.
No chaser.
Weak. Ooh, just weak.
Leaving.
Just
We'll
weak.
We'll see you next Friday.
Weak.